Hello and welcome to dinner tonight again. You'll notice a new addition to my attire. Want to give a shout out to my dad, Papa Tom, for sending me a chef's outfit complete with apron and hat. The apron was so nice I couldn't bear to get it dirty, so that's why I thought I'd just wear the hat. Tonight we are going to be making baked ribs. These will be fall off the bone kind of ribs. So I've got two baby back pork ribs here, and the first thing that you want to do is take off the icky membrane on the back. You can see on this one I already took the membrane off. That membrane, if you leave it on, makes it very difficult to chew and just is not a very pleasant experience. So the best thing to do is just find a way to stick a finger in underneath the membrane. Sometimes it helps to have a little knife, but once you kind of get started, it comes off pretty easily. Just kind of have to get it off of a couple of ribs and then it just pulls off. So yeah, there we go. Here it comes off in one long easy piece. So if anybody knows about the origin of the chef hat and why it looks like this, I'd appreciate it if you would let me know. I guess I could look it up, but somebody else, you know, in the comments, you could let me know if you know about the origin of the white chef's hat like this. All right, so now you can see it's just going to come off in one big old long sheet. Okay, and that is going to make for a much more pleasant eating experience. Okay, and then just throw that away. So the best way to prepare these aren't going to need a whole lot of stuff to it. I will later in the show you how I'm going to make my homemade barbecue sauce. But for this, we're just going to wrap them in foil and bake them at 250 degrees for a couple hours. And then after that, I'm going to take them out of the oven, let them rest for a few minutes. Then I go and throw them on the grill to char them up a little bit, and then put the sauce on, let the sauce settle in on the grill for a minute, and then we're good to go. So what I've got here is just a mixture of salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, and salt and pepper. You're just going to season both sides of this pretty generously with this. So part of the reason I'm showing people how to make ribs is because we had a family reunion, maybe 10 years ago in Delaware. And one night we decided we were going to make ribs, and nobody in the family knew how to make ribs. And so we wound up boiling them and then throwing them on the grill. And it was just I just remember it was a big fiery mess with really blackened ribs. And so I decided I'd figure out how to make ribs, and so I've been working on this for a while, trying to perfect this for myself and reading what other people do and watching YouTube videos. And this is by far the easiest way to get fall off the bone meat and really the least amount of muss and fuss. So get some more seasoning on this side. So I've been watching a little bit of TV. Amazon Prime has come out with a new thing called the Tales from the Loop. It's a sci-fi thing, kind of like a little bit of a mix between Stranger Things, Black Mirror, and The Twilight Zone. So I'm 2 episodes in. It's been pretty good. So we're just going to do lots of pepper. You know, as with any meat that you're going to put in the oven, really you don't need that much seasoning on, especially if you cook it low and slow. The meat itself is usually pretty tasty. You know, last night I made a beef roast, and Elise was like, "Man, this is so good. What'd you put on it?" I was like, "Salt and pepper and garlic," and it was just, you know, you just let the meat shine. So we get some tinfoil here. What you're going to do is just wrap both of these up individually. You want to seal this up pretty good just so that everything stays in there. Okay, this nice package there. Oh, didn't quite do enough. That's all right. We've got plenty of tin foil. Go. Doesn't really matter if you're going to do these upside down or right side up. I'm going to do it both ways. So there we go. Those are good to go. These are going to go in an oven for about 2 hours at 250 degrees. And yeah, so when those come out in a couple hours, we'll get them on the grill. I'll show you how to make the barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna make some mac and cheese to go with this, with some smoked Gouda cheese. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. So here we are a couple hours later, and the ribs have been slow cooking, and the aroma in the house has been amazing. Everybody's like, ooh, this is gonna be really good. So I'll get these out of the oven. Ooh, looks like a little juice did escape. Must be very juicy. All right, so I'm gonna let these rest while I am making a barbecue sauce, but I'll just open this up so you can take a look, see how this looks. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. So yeah, they're not all crispy or anything yet, or charred, but that's the next step. So we're gonna let these just rest for a few minutes. I've got the grill warming up while we're letting these rest for a few minutes, and the grill is warming up. I'm going to make an Asian inspired barbecue sauce. Okay, so I've got all my ingredients over here. This is going to be a ketchup based barbecue sauce, as most barbecue sauces are, and you can buy barbecue sauce at the store, and a lot of them are really good, but if you want to, you can also buy them and then add things to them to make them the way you want it. You know, like for instance, I wanted to do an Asian inspired one. You could add all these things to just the regular barbecue sauce that you buy at the store. But I'm going to do a ketchup based one from scratch. So first thing I've got here is a cup of ketchup. I'll put that in, got it on low heat here to get started. Then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. You could also use a little bit of tomato sauce. So, a tablespoon of that. Half cup of brown sugar. I know the ketchup has a lot of sugar in it, but barbecue sauce is mostly sugar. So it's sugar on top of sugar. I don't know, the last time I cooked something, I think I used some fish sauce. I'm going to put a couple dashes of fish sauce. You might think this is really weird, fish sauce on ribs. But really, if you want something to have a really good Asian kind of flavor, you're going to want a few dashes of fish sauce. Okay, not very much. I'm going to do a half cup of rice vinegar, or actually whatever I have left. Usually in a regular barbecue sauce, you're going to use like apple cider vinegar, but again, we're going Asian flavored, so we're going to do some rice vinegar. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of soy sauce. Probably just do about a quarter cup of this. You know, I'll get this all stirred up and warmed up and taste and see how it is. That's how I usually like to try to do things. Sometimes I'll look up recipes and just get ideas, and then I always kind of just change it the way I want it to be. And then this is oyster sauce, or I'm sorry, hoisin sauce. And I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons of this. This is what's really going to give it that sort of Asian flavor to it. And last but not least, a few quick squirts of sriracha just for a little bit of heat. All right, there you go. And now we'll just give it a quick stir. I'm going to turn up the heat here a little bit on it and let that kind of come together. Okay. So as you can see, my barbecue sauce has come together quite nicely. It has that nice, typical barbecue color. Everything's come together quite nicely. I'm going to have a little taste here and I'll adjust as needed. Oh, yeah, it's really nice and tangy. The rice vinegar gives it a nice tang. The oyster sauce, the hoisin sauce and the fish sauce give it that nice umami feel, so it's very smooth and to the palate. Just a good bit of heat with that sriracha, but not too much. So I think that's perfect. I'm just going to leave that the way it is. I'll just turn it down here, and let's go throw those ribs on the grill for their final charring. All right, so I've got the grill nice and warmed up. Let me just turn it down a notch on each burner here. Open these up. Put these with the meat side down first. And it's just going to be a few minutes on each side. It's really all you need before you add the barbecue sauce. This is just to get that nice charred sense that everybody likes. Ooh, a little piece fell off. I'll just have to taste that. Oh, and I lost it. Oh well. All right. So we'll check back on these in a couple minutes. Okay, so these have just been on for a couple minutes, and let's turn them over and see how they look. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice char. Ooh, and they're already falling apart. Got nice grill marks on there. Put that one over. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Okay. Turn this down as low as it'll go. A little bit of fat's coming off, creating a bit of fire. So we're just going to let these cook on this bottom side for just about a minute. Okay, so these are looking pretty good. I turned off the middle burners because there's a lot of flame coming up. So there's certainly still plenty of heat in there. So now I just bathe these in lots of barbecue sauce. The more the better, I think. And there's plenty here to just put on the table. And then people can add more as they're stuffing it in their face. So this goes on pretty nicely. It's still pretty thick. Get a nice coating over everything. Get the back of it there. Alright. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this all off and just let the heat that's in there, just let that barbecue sauce just sort of get a nice glaze to it. Okay, so these are all done. I've got 2 layers of glaze on the top. I glazed the top twice just because everybody does like the sauce. So we're just going to take it off. This one is in 2 pieces, but that doesn't matter. It was all going to come apart anyway. There they are. Just like you might get at any barbecue. Alright, I'll go inside and we'll cut these up and serve them up. Okay, here we are back in the kitchen. I'm going to cut off a couple of bones of this.
Looks very tender.
Oh, yeah, and I've got my wife Kirsten here, who is going to be the official taster for tonight. There you go, sweetie. Have a little taste of that, and let me know what you think.
Ooh, almost like drops off the bone here. Mmm, melts in your mouth.
Okay.
It's really good, really smoky. You could just stand here and eat this whole thing.
So she was not a big fan of ribs until I started making them for her this way. So anyway, so I'm going to finish cutting this up and serving it up. The other thing that is for dinner tonight that is just about done that I'm going to get out of the oven is some macaroni and cheese made with smoked Gouda. So that's been in the oven baking for the last half an hour. So I'm going to put that along with a salad. And so with the ribs and the macaroni and cheese and the salad, this will be dinner tonight. So, please watch this video, and if you like it, please like it and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and share it with your friends.